The original Welch Allyn ophthalmoscope may have been small, but it was a pretty big idea.
The first of many big ideas that helped define Welch Allyn's ongoing commitment to innovation and quality.
Ideas that help us to see and know and manage in a world that's far more complicated than it was in the early 1900s, when our story begins.
The year was 1915. World War I was raging in Europe, Einstein was at work on his theory of relativity, and two men formed a company that would contribute to the health and well-being of people around the world. These two visionaries, William Noah Allyn, an experienced medical instrument marketer, and Dr. Francis Welch, a New York City physician and inventor, formed a business to market Dr. Welch's new device, a medical instrument to better diagnose diseases of the eye. In the cramped back room in a small building in Auburn, New York, William Noah Allyn, with support from his family, began to manufacture and market Dr. Welch's invention, the world's first handheld direct illuminating ophthalmoscope. William Noah, affectionately known as Cap, built the foundation of the business. His team used techniques from Swiss watchmaking factories, beginning Welch Allyn's tradition for quality. And Cap labored to secure relationships with medical supply dealers around the country. Dr. Welch, unfortunately, would not live to see the company grow. He died suddenly in the second half of 1915, and his heirs agreed to sell his equity in the partnership to William Noah. To honor Dr. Welch's memory, Cap kept the Welch name and continued the journey.
After achieving military success in World War I, America entered the 1920s with much jubilation. The decade that brought us the Charleston and the Spirit of St. Louis proved to be a time of steady growth for Welch Allyn, but that growth didn't come easily. In the years following World War I, the Welch Allyn ophthalmoscope wasn't a widely accepted diagnostic tool among general practitioners. Much missionary work with doctors, medical schools, and dealers was necessary. Cap Allyn went to work. Cap took $25 and a box of samples to the American Medical Association convention in Chicago. After some negotiation, Cap was given the only space left to set up, near the men's restroom. Being in an area accessible to so many, he sold all of the company's samples and gained a number of orders from surgical supply dealers around the country. The 20s proved to be an important decade for Welch Allyn. Profits grew, new patents were issued, and the product line was expanded to include a unique light-carrying proctoscope and sigmoidoscope, giving physicians new instruments to better diagnose disease.
The 30s and 40s were decades that would truly test America. The Depression saw businesses across the country close. More than 4.5 million people were unemployed. The city of Auburn was especially hard hit. Welch Allyn weathered this period with strict budgeting and zero waste of resources. They were one of a very few companies that had no layoffs. And quality remained the top priority. Emphasizing the excellence of Welch Allyn's products, renowned explorer Richard E. Byrd took a set of Welch Allyn diagnostic instruments with him to the Antarctic in 1935, where they remained for 4 years and were recovered in perfect condition during another expedition in 1939. In the mid-30s, a number of events allowed Welch Allyn to grow. Outdated machinery was upgraded and the number of distributors increased to nearly 100. The product line was widened to include the direct intubation laryngoscope, which became a mainstay for America's armed forces. As the storm that would be World War II gathered and America got its New Deal, a new, younger Welch Allyn began to take shape. In 1934, William G. Allyn, Cap's son, started to work at Welch Allyn. With his degree in optometry from the University of Rochester, William G. embarked on a revitalization campaign that included changes in everything from engineering and manufacturing to sales and human resources. Blueprints were developed for the first time. The plating facilities were upgraded and promising new candidates were added. Among these recruits was Roscoe "Rocky" Bills, an employee who was to contribute greatly to the company. Rocky was the first employee whose education was sponsored by Welch Allyn. In addition to its educational efforts, Welch Allyn was the first company in the area to start a pension program.
With the onslaught of the Second World War, factories and businesses had to adapt to support the war effort. As Welch Allyn employees went to war, manpower was in short supply. It was no longer possible to get new, more efficient equipment, but it was necessary to double, sometimes triple production. The only way Welch Allyn could keep up with this demand was by hiring a number of part-time employees who were able to work when they could spare a few hours. With this flexible time system, the factory operated 24 hours a day. During that time, Welch Allyn was never late with deliveries, and they never had a reject. This helped to establish Welch Allyn's reputation for dependability and quality. With the end of World War II, Welch Allyn was fortunate to have all its war veterans return. William G. recruited Chuck Evans. Chuck worked with Welch Allyn during the war as an expediter, helping Welch Allyn earn 2 U.S. Army-Navy E Awards for outstanding performance. Chuck brought a great deal of energy and experience to the company. While heading up the sales force, Chuck proved to be an excellent teacher, strengthening Welch Allyn's belief in training for its employees. Chuck served the company well, ultimately as president later in his career. The 40s were a time of great expansion for Welch Allyn. They moved into the old Glenside woolen mill in Skaneateles Falls, and modern machinery was purchased. In 1947, a meeting was held of the newly incorporated Welch Allyn. William Noah Allyn was named chairman, and William G. Allyn was elected president. The 40s ended on a high note as sales rose steadily. Chuck Evans and his sales team traveled extensively. One of Chuck's sales trainees, returning war veteran George Blowers, distinguished himself by opening Welch Allyn to international markets. With the dedication of the sales team, Welch Allyn's reputation for quality was becoming known worldwide.
The next 2 decades would change the way Americans thought, and innovations in industry would change the way Americans lived. The end of World War II brought thousands of young servicemen back to America to pick up their lives and start new families in new homes with new jobs. With an energy never before experienced, American industry expanded to meet peacetime needs. Americans began buying goods not available during the war, which created corporate expansion and jobs. Growth was everywhere. During the 50s, Welch Allyn worked for continuous innovation, including pioneering the use of rechargeable batteries in diagnostic instruments, dramatically increasing Welch Allyn's sales. The company also embarked on a major push to have the basic ophthalmoscope and otoscope diagnostic set included in every medical school program. Chuck Evans and George Blowers, Welch Allyn's super salesmen, persuaded medical schools and students across the country to purchase Welch Allyn diagnostic sets. The competition for this market was fierce, but the quality of the product eventually allowed Welch Allyn to capture a large share of the medical school market.
As the 60s rolled in, 70 million children from the post-war baby boom became teenagers and young adults. No longer content to be mirror images of the generation before them, young people wanted change. Changes affecting education, values, lifestyles, laws, and technology. Welch Allyn was changing too. This period began what would be a series of industry-changing innovations that would greatly enhance the depth and quality of Welch Allyn products. Major innovations included the use of miniature lamps and fiber optics. Lamp manufacturing had been purchased from an outside supplier, but with orders increasing, it became apparent that Welch Allyn would have to invest in its own lamp-producing division. Machines were purchased, employees were hired, and large-scale manufacturing began. Through the leadership of a talented employee named Bill Moore, the use of fiber optics expanded in the 60s as Welch Allyn produced the world's first fiber optic otoscope in 1964. This new fiber optic technology that Bill championed would also be used to improve the light-emitting capabilities of endoscopes and other instruments, further enhancing a physician's ability to diagnose disease. Bill Moore's visionary work in fiber optics opened new doors in medical diagnostics and built the foundation for entirely new businesses. Bill's distinguished career included a term as president in the late 70s.
Social change continued into the 70s. Advances in civil rights, the increased influence of the women's movement, and a heightened concern for the environment shaped people's thoughts at the time. The 70s were a dynamic time for Welch Allyn as well. William G. Allyn's sons, William F. and Lou, were moved into leadership positions. William F., known as Bill, became president, and Lou became vice president, eventually becoming general manager of the medical business. Under their leadership, the company enjoyed many successes. The establishment of the data collection division in the mid-70s was a major event that would take the company in new directions. Using the knowledge gained from the implementation of fiber optics, Welch Allyn developed an inexpensive way to manufacture very high-quality handheld barcode readers. The data collection division grew rapidly in the 1980s, increasing Welch Allyn's name recognition in both domestic and international markets.
In the 80s, the medical division moved to a brand new facility on State Street Road in Skaneateles Falls. Under Lou's leadership, sales continued to grow, especially in international markets. An important focus of this time was the video division. Begun in the 70s, the division took off in the 80s, allowing Welch Allyn to pioneer entirely new areas of medical imaging technology. One of those breakthrough technologies, developed in 1983, was the world's first video endoscope. This provided doctors an unobstructed view of a patient's internal organs. Welch Allyn continued development of smaller, higher quality cameras for other applications, veterinary scopes, intraoral cameras for dentistry, and products for industry to remotely inspect environments such as nuclear power plants and jet engines. In the first of what would be a number of acquisitions, Welch Allyn acquired Tycos Instruments in 1986. Tycos is one of the world's leading manufacturers of stethoscopes and blood pressure gauges. The mid-80s saw a dramatic internal change for Welch Allyn. In 1985, company president Bill Allen instituted just-in-time manufacturing technology and launched the Total Quality Initiative. Celebrations to acknowledge quality achievements became a part of the Welch Allyn culture.
The quality initiative continued as Welch Allyn partnered with and acquired a number of world-class companies throughout the 1990s. Spital & Keller, a German manufacturer of blood pressure cuffs. Diatech Instruments, an innovator in electronic thermometry. Schiller US, the American affiliate of the Swiss-based maker of electrocardiographs and pulmonary functioning devices. Creative, a manufacturer of high-tech dental products. Welch Allyn's Everest Imaging merged with visual inspection technologies to create Everest VIT. And Handheld Products, a leading supplier of multi-stop data collection devices, joined forces with Welch Allyn's data collection division in 1999. With all this innovation and growth, Welch Allyn recognized that training was increasingly important. So in 1999, under Lou's leadership, they built the Lodge, the William Noah Allen International Center for Training and Development, dedicated to the ongoing training of its employees, customers, and distributors in Welch Allyn products, technology, and know-how. The 1990s brought a surge in innovation. More than 190 patents were issued to 475 employees, and new products were added at a record pace, including instruments to better diagnose the conditions leading to blindness and to identify hearing loss. Also, new electronic technologies allowed the development of advanced instruments such as vital signs monitors. At the start of the new millennium, the company underwent an important reorganization, giving its businesses more autonomy to better focus on their individual missions. 3 separate entities, each concentrating on different markets, were formed. The data collection business, Everest VIT, focusing on remote visual inspection, and Welch Allyn Incorporated, focusing on medical, dental, and lighting.
And the low-power radio. So you put,
Newly elected Welch Allyn Incorporated President Peter Soderberg has begun to implement even more aggressive plans for the company, adding new and exciting challenges for its employees. With the acquisition of Protocol Systems Incorporated, a large patient monitoring equipment company, Peter, like his brothers-in-law, Bill and Lou, has continued the dynamic pattern of growth, continuous improvement, and the commitment to quality. The excitement continues every day with new product launches, acquisitions such as the data collection business's acquisition plans for PSC Incorporated, and many new partnerships and ideas. Welch Allyn has come a long way from that cramped back room in Auburn to become an extraordinary global enterprise with more than 2,600 employees in hundreds of facilities and sales offices around the world.
It all began with an idea, a better way. It's been an exciting journey, and the journey continues. The most exciting part of our history, the history that we'll make together, is yet to come.